opinyon ng pag-uulat ng mag-uulat sa programang ito ay hindi ang pangunahing posisyon o pahayag ng pamumunuan ng organisasyong ito. The views and opinions expressed in this live report are those of the presenter and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the management of this organization. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Editoriyal. Today is Wednesday, March 23, 2022. I am your host, Carlos Miguel Kanahashi. Sir Mark Betita will be here with me in just a moment for our technical supervisor. And we're broadcasting simultaneously on InkluRadio Facebook page and to be premiered on the next day on the Hands in Inclusion Philippines YouTube channel. We shall commence our presentation in just a moment and we will be back after our commercials. Now this.
Meron akong pangarap para sa aking pamilya, para sa aking kapwa, at para sa bayan. Kahit mahirap, kahit masakit, mahal ko kayong lahat. Kahit anong mangyari, ikaw, ako, tayo. Ating isisigaw sa mundo. Inklusibong may tatag, angat buhay, itatahak. Matapang pa rin tayo. Ang tropa, hindi nang iiwan. Ang senyas, isang instrumento. Ilang beses matumba, tayo huling baba. Luman ang ating pinagalingan. Tayo ay muling liliwan. Para sa pangarap, para sa pamilya, at para sa bayan. Tayo ang ida. Tuloy ang inclusion.
Okay. Okay, welcome back to our editorial episode for this day. This afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, let us discuss to you about how can we deal with dysfunctional organizations. I have a question to ask, ladies and gentlemen. Are you having a problem with how to address and manage a dysfunctional organization? You're not alone. So without further ado, here now is our topic for this day on editorial, how to deal with dysfunctional organizations. Sir Mark, can you share our slides, please? Thank you. Okay, so here now is our topic. I have a question. Are you having a problem with how to address a dysfunctional organization? Believe it or not, you're not alone, ladies and gentlemen. This is a very common problem for many businesses. What does this mean, ladies and gentlemen? Reports are based that managing people is often the single hardest part of a leader's job because people are what make or break an organization. Your team is often the most significant factor in success or failure, especially during the times of growth. If you feel like the wheels are coming off your bus, how do you turn things around? Next slide, please. So, regardless of size, all human groups are subject to the same dynamics. Why? Because, ladies and gentlemen, factors can hamper a small group and also cause a much larger structure to falter. In business, managers and employees alike suffer when an organization does not function optimally, and dysfunctional organizations are a very big problem in business. And what can we do in order to make sure that the organization is functioning? Let's find out in the next subsequent slides, ladies and gentlemen. Next slide, please. What are the causes? Misunderstood mission. lack of consensus on the nature of problems facing the team, misunderstood strategy, lack of team cohesion, and lack of resources. Let's explain this to you one by one, ladies and gentlemen. Next slide, please. In misunderstood mission, every individual in an organization must know the organization's raison d'etre. When members know their values and principles of their group, they can make decisions on their own simply by comparing any options with the group's mission. Next slide, please. If an organization doesn't understand the guiding statements, it's because the leaders themselves don't have a clear vision of the purpose of the organization. Hindi klaro, to be honest. Because leaders need to reevaluate the mission and vision of the organization, knowing that the mission can evolve over time. New leaders are chosen or external pressures change. Another common reason that an organization might fail its mission is that it's not adequately communicated. Leaders might agree on the purpose and try to explain it to the membership, but a poorly formulated message will give different people in the group different ideas. Purpose statements should be repeated often to help everybody know why the organization exists and values that it holds together. Next slide, please. This one. Lack of consensus. Team members always share a common view of the problems that the group needs to solve. Sometimes team members agree on the symptoms, but disagree on the underlying causes because some people think that they have the lack of quality and misorganized facts and ideas. It's because brainstorming sessions throughout the organization can help to uncover the real issues and the root causes. Here are the questions asked. Are clients providing unclear requirements? Is upper management assigning unreasonable deadlines for the rank and file? And is the group image suffering in the marketplace? Not only should the group could share a view of problems and root causes, they must also come to a consensus on priorities. Sometimes people agree on a set of issues but disagree on the relative importance of each. Some team members might think competition is the biggest problem. Others may think limited resources are more troublesome, while still others focus on the lack of vision. Next slide, please. In misunderstood strategy, ladies and gentlemen, not only team members need to know the strategy, they also have to believe it and integrate it. When people, each member of the group knows how to group and will go about fulfilling its mission, people will unite. Here are the questions asked. Is the team strategy to build products faster than anybody else? Will the team overcome a sales shortfall by picking up market share in a specific segment? Can the team provide vaccinations in remote areas by pressuring large pharmaceutical companies to lower their prices? Once the strategy is understood, team members must grasp the tactics, how the strategy will be implemented and executed. Because leaders must make sure that all individuals must understand the strategies of the group in order to meet the objectives. Once they understand and accept the strategies and tactics, they will function as a group to meet those goals. Next slide, please. Lack of team cohesion. People need a sense of identity and belonging above all. They need to be able to trust their leaders and other team members. Building a cohesive team is also more difficult when the team is physically spread out. Some teams can meet no more than once a year. Why? Because effective leaders could build team cohesion in such cases by using tools such as video conferencing and to establish rules. In order to build a good team cohesion, we need to set a good example. Good leaders promote trust within the group and they ensure that each individual feels like part of the group. Above all, a leader must first demonstrate that he or she is trustworthy. Next slide, please. In the lack of resources, Every organization must need resources in order to function, and it should be done on time. If the team can't get it, it will not be done. Each team member will feel the frustration and the morale will suffer. Here the and leaders must go outside of the group is needed to ensure that the group gets everything it needs to do its work. So here the questions asked. Does the group have everything you need? That's what is asked, ladies and gentlemen. Next slide, please. How can we manage dysfunctional organizations? First, you should admit that you have a problem. You know the feeling, that oppressive feeling in the office as everyone hunches over their desk, never really talking unless they have to. Worse yet, you see the disengagement and eye rolls at team meetings. To say the mood is unpleasant would be an understatement. You know that something is off with the team dynamic, and you know you should do something about it. But you keep putting it off and focus on other tasks, hoping that the situation will somehow correct itself. As an organization leader, you need to address the issues within a team. If you don't, the only change you see is your talent moving on to new jobs to escape a miserable work environment. Facing these issues requires courage and strong leadership. Taking the time to figure out a plan to deal with the situation is the only way to turn a dysfunctional team into a transformational one. Next slide, please. In order to take stock, you need to recognize the problem. Reach out to your employees. Talk with your team to get a feel for why they are struggling. Hear what they need straight to the point. Their answers to your questions may surprise you. Next slide, please. In order to work for your team, you need to achieve results. Why, ladies and gentlemen? It's because the real challenge of learning how to manage this functional organization is to know the team members better. As you consider how you can help your team, it can be helpful to identify your key players, also to know the core values of the organization and who embrace the transformational change needed to maximize results. Bringing these people together will align the group dynamic with your plan for the future. Next slide, please. Decision making is very important because we need to show that the team is dynamic and systematic as well to bring a lot of positive energy and to promote valiant employees in the right positions. It's important to remember that not everyone will be a key player. More often than not, when morale is low, there is at least one person who would try best in another position. We understand that moving someone off of your team is nothing to take lightly. However, you need to understand the core values and the mission and vision of the group in order for you to avoid misaligned core values and performance issues. And their negativity can drag any hard-won morale to boost straight back down. Next slide, please. Let us have the time to regroup and to move forward. Once your team has rebuilt, we need to move forward and expect a fresh new start. Be vigilant that you and your team don't fall back into old habits. You have to keep everyone accountable, and only then you will see results. Next slide, please. So, workplace dysfunction occurs whenever members of the team lack the confidence and desire to work together toward a common purpose. Much like a contagious disease, dysfunction spreads from person to person and can from unit to unit. If the condition is undiagnosed, it can become dysfunctional. Dealing with dysfunctional teams requires team members to invest equally in both the functional and the relational attributes of the team. Paradoxically, investing more in relational attributes leads to the ability to solve functional issues. Where does this attention flow go when working with dysfunctional teams? To the functional attributes or to the relational attributes? We have to deal with emotions, and it requires self control. So what does this mean, ladies and gentlemen? The reason why we discuss this because as you all may know, ladies and gentlemen, actually almost 2 years ago, di ba, nagsimula ang naging dysfunctional ang ating organisasyon. Despite all the achievements that we have done in this history of the organization for the past almost 5 years here in Hands and Inclusion this year, despite all of the fantastic achievements, uh, despite our despite being actually naging dysfunction na ang ating organisasyon since March 2020. I will also explain to you the reasons why. Because actually, the reason why in relation to our topic, kung bakit naging dysfunctional ang ating organisasyon is because, ladies and gentlemen, member complacency, the non-cooperation and the non-collaboration of the members, and other people who offended the org in the past have shaken this group. And also because some members are not available when needed, some members are not cooperative when needed, members with a lot of demands but not active. And also the two people from Quezon City shook HNI to the core, leading to its temporary closure last June 6, 2020. And that's and also due to alibis, vendettas, as well as also partisan views, ladies and gentlemen, and no initiative. Sir Mark, meron akong question sa'yo. Bakit naging dysfunctional ang Hands in Inclusion since March 2020?
Dahil po sa nagkakanya-kanya po sila, wala pong unity. Meron pong suggestion yung isa, meron din naman pong suggestion yung kabila. Kumbaga po, wala pong harmony yung yung HNI, kaya po nagkakagulo po sila. At nagkakagulo po tayo sa loob.
Tama yun. That's absolutely right. Thank you, Sir Mark, for that answer. Actually, and also once expect this to avoid this here in this org, we need to expect better management, to have rules, to impose concrete sanctions on offenses, and to follow them. And also, peace and order is achieved, and these rules actually will be more competitive, orderly, decent, and systematic. In order for us to show systematic and orderly flow within our org, and these rules will help adjust the system. Once we become a formal non-government organization here in Hands Inclusion in the future, we expect a fresh start for the group, and also to be at par with other PWD organizations in our country that are organized, systematic, decent, competitive, and orderly, and cooperative as well. How can we do this? We should know and obey. Rules are rules. Fulfill our roles and obligations in the organization. Also, we need also to show proper decorum so that we cannot have problems here in the future. We should continue to have a good example. We must learn how to show good attitude, show to be professional. Your cooperation and your attention is highly appreciated. We should learn how to be considerate, understanding, and to be self-controlled. Act like a neutral person at work Maging simple lang tayo at asapor at huwag tayo maging asal, elitista. Huwag tayo maging kampante at matigas ng ulo. And why do we need these, ladies and gentlemen, in order to deal with dysfunctional organizations here in this forum? Ito ay ginagawa natin para magiging mapayapa at maayos tayo ng matagal. And the reason why we do this is for us to be peaceful, organized, and systematic in the organization. Okay, so that now we conclude our topic. We will be having our short intermission. When we come back, we'll be having our election 2022 updates, get to know our candidates, as well as announcements and some final words and greetings and more. Coming up as editorial returns after our short break. Magko-commercial muna tayo.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mark, your video announcer for this night. And all I can say about Hands in Inclusion is they are a good company and they help people to achieve their goals in life. That's all. Thank you.
Welcome back to editorial episode for this day. Now, let us move on to our next part of our show for this day is our election 2022 updates entitled Pulso 2022 Election 2022 Updates. Robedo's office COVID programs get COMELEC okay to go on during campaign period. COMELEC on Wednesday granted the petition of Lenny Robedo's office to continue the COVID-19 programs amid the spending ban in the run-up to the May polls. The poll bodies and bank exempted certain pandemic projects of Lenny Robredo from the spending ban during the election campaign period, said COMELEC Commissioner George Garcia. In an executive session today, the unbank granted the petition for exemption in the office of the Vice President of certain programs during the 45-day period of the campaign. The petition was filed 2 months ago. Under the Omnibus Election Code, it is prohibited for any public official to disburse public funds 45 days before the election. Comelec Resolution 10747 allows application for exemptions. The OVP has paused the coronavirus testing, vaccination drive, and free online consultation when the campaign period started last February 8 for national candidates. Robredo, leader of the opposition, is among the candidates seeking to succeed Duterte. She earlier said that she would refrain from appearing in her office COVID-19 programs and the look for the all paraphernalia would change. In a statement, the OVP spokesman Barry Gutierrez thanked Comelec for granting its request. He said, "We thank Comelec for their action for the OVP's request. This will ensure that Angat Buhay projects, which will have helped hundreds of thousands of Filipinos in the past 6 years, can continue to bring hope to communities throughout the country." That now concludes our election 2022 updates. Okay, that now concludes our election 2022 updates. Now let us move on. Our next part of the show is the election candidates. Let's get to know them through Sinoka. Know your candidates in the May 9, 2022 elections. Next slide, please. Our featured candidate for the day is Greco Belgica. He will be running for senator this year. But before that, he studied in college in San Beda. He studied in the University of California for his postgraduate, and he studied in PLM or Pamantasan ng Lungsod ng Maynila or Law School. He is a former member of the City Council of Manila for the 6th District from 2004 to 2007. He is the former commissioner of the Presidential Anti-Corruption Commission from 2018 to 2021, and he is the chairman of the Presidential Anti-Corruption Commission last year until he ran for senator. It's May 9, 2022. Let's vote wisely in the May 9, 2022 elections. Next slide, please. As part of their continuing efforts, here is our announcement. Rather, here are some of the announcements. Next slide, please. As part of our continuing efforts to support Hands in Inclusion Philippines, then you may purchase our products from the Hands in Inclusion Philippines online shop, and also for your donations to the organization. First, for our Hands in Inclusion Philippines merchandises, we are selling the t-shirts and the tote bags. For the t-shirts, it's 275 pesos for all sizes, available in red, black, blue, white, and yellow. For the One Inclusion Nation tote bags, it's available in white and black. Medium to large are the sizes of 150 to 200 pesos. For the Talano Gold colored, 325 to 350 pesos are the sizes. Small to XL are the prices. So we'll be very strict on payment first before purchase. We're accepting payments from GCash and will deliver your ordered products via GoGo Express and LBC as well. Next slide, please. The Hands in Inclusion Philippines online shop is temporarily closed for areas under Alert Level 5, but it will continue to serve in areas under Alert Level 1 to 4 only. Its operating hours are from 12 midnight to 11:59 in the evening. For a full list of orders, please visit the Hands in Inclusion Philippines Facebook page or email us at handsin.inclusion@gmail.com. Next slide, please. So, ladies and gentlemen, We at Hands in Inclusion Philippines needs your help. To be honest, ladies and gentlemen, many of us already been struggling with the financial problems in our organization. So regardless, no matter what, it doesn't really matter if the amount is smaller or larger. It would be appreciated for you guys to help Anthony Inclusion Philippines as well. How can you do this? Scan and donate using GCash on this QR code that is flashed on your screen. And also, if you want to do the Barriatas Inclusion Fundraising Project, you may use a coin bank, donate any amount of coins, and to be donated through bank deposit at Union Bank as well. So how can you do this? You can do this as early as now. Ngayon na. Please lang. Please continue to help Hands in Inclusion Philippines for its fundraising project through your donations and purchases in the online shop. Please help Hands in Inclusion Philippines for its fundraising project. We're aiming to raise funds in the organization. Let us have the time to rebuild in order for us to have a bigger, better, and a bolder Hands in Inclusion Philippines. Proceeds from the sales and for donations will go to us here in Hands in Inclusion for the formality of the organization, the expenses as well, the financial aid for the members due to the effect of this pandemic, and also, aside from its formality, the SEC registration in the future. So guys, for those who did this, you be graduated, and thank you for your continuous generosity and for support to the organization in advance. Next slide, please. But before we get to this, uh, if you want to, wait lang. Okay. So before we get to this part, if you want to purchase accessories, okay, so just wait. Okay. Okay, so if you want to purchase accessories from Ate Lady Jane Florese, you may purchase it through L Jane Accessories on and on on her Facebook page. If you want to order there, you may message her through WhatsApp or you may contact her as well, or you can message her on Facebook as well. Next slide, please. Okay. So if you have any problems with your PC, your laptop or desktop computer, if it's Apple or Windows, if you have problems with your tablet, if it's Android or iOS, and also if you want to download games, music, and movies, Sir Mark Paulo Betita is here. How? You can message Sir Mark Betita on Facebook, Mark Paulo Betita, or you may contact him at 0947 355 4759. Next slide, please. So we have two more events coming up for the month of March in Best Buddies Philippines. So up to the 24th to the 25th is Inclusion Week with our friends in Best Buddies Benil, as well as on March 26th, rather, we'll be making Jolly Friendship Jams, wherein we'll be making a viral TikTok recipe, which will be a toast with Kamyas Jam, ladies and gentlemen. So if you want to join that event on March 26th, Follow Best Buddies Philippines on Facebook and Instagram. Send them a message and they will send you the registration form and the link as well. Okay. And also stay tuned also for the events for the month of April. Ladies and gentlemen. So regarding all the events for the month of April, please wait and stay tuned. It will also be announced at the end of our Saturday series session for this month. But there will be events coming up for the month of March. But stay tuned as well. So just to remind as well here, okay, okay. Best Buddies Philippines is a non-profit, non-denominational, and a non-political organization. We support for clean and fair elections and do not endorse any political party or candidate. As members of the Best Buddies Philippines community, please refrain from endorsing a candidate during the activities of Best Buddies Philippines. And the reason why is ito ay ginawa para because we need to continue to act like a neutral person. That means na dapat hindi nakikisaw-saw sa politika. Sir Mark, based on this one, bakit ipinagbabawal ang Best Buddies Philippines ang pag-endorse ng kahit anong politikong candidate during the events ng organisasyon na yan? Can you unmute yourself, please? Sir Mark?
Para po hindi po tayo nasasangkot sa anumang pong gulo, sa anumang pong hindi magandang pagkakaunawaan.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Sir Mark. Next slide. So in Best Buddies Philippines, make a friend, be a friend. Next slide, please. So if you're hungry, then if you want to have it for your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner, your merienda, any occasion, you may order some of the foods from the Sobra Comfort Food Restaurant and the Kuya Korea Restaurant. For the Sobra Comfort Food Restaurant, the menus are for our all-day breakfast, we have tapa sobra, chicken tocino, corned beef brisket, homemade spam, and beef salpicao. Sizes are ranged between solo to large, and prices are ranged between 265 pesos to 1,450 pesos. Next slide, please. For our rice trays, we have beef bulgogi, beef shawarma, beef gyudon, pork crackling bits, pork belly burnt ends, charred chicken, and boneless fried chicken. Sizes range between solo to large, and prices range between 265 pesos to 1,700 pesos. Next slide, please. For our sandwiches, we have the fried chicken sandwiches, pulled pro sandwich, corned beef sandwich, and chicken tocino sandwich. Sizes are ranged between solo, regular, large, and box, of course. Prices range between 320 pesos to 1,540 pesos. Next slide, please. For our pastas, we have mac and cheese and penne and gorgonzola. Sizes are ranged between solo to large, and prices range between 290 pesos to 1,350 pesos. Next slide, please. For our way of ordering in the Sobra Comfort Food Restaurant, here are the steps. First, head over to the Sobra Comfort Food website, select the dishes you want to order, choose between pick-up or delivery, pay conveniently through any of the saved integrated payment methods, and your order is confirmed. Please expect updates via text or email. Next slide, please. If you want to crave for something Korean, then you have to order some of the foods from the Kuya Korea restaurant. Menus are, we have beef bibimbap, beef bulgogi, pork samgyup, and K-pop chicken rice bowls. 195 to 220 pesos are the sizes, are the prices. For the boneless popcorn chicken, 235 to 435 pesos for the price, and for the sizes are half to whole. For the flavors, gochu, ganjang, chicken, and K-pop. If you want to order there, please check the Kuya Korea website for your orders as well. Next slide, please. So tomorrow, on March 24, 2022, during the Inclusion Week in Best Buddies Benilde, the LaSalle College of St. Benilde, in collaboration with the LaSallian Mission and Student Life Vice President for the LaSallian Vision and Student Life, Center for Inclusive Education, West Buddies Benilde, and Benilde Student Envoys will be having a webinar on gender inclusion and safe spaces. The speakers are Attorney Cheyenne and Ms. Amber. The event will be done tomorrow at 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. via Zoom. The event is free and there will be sign language interpreters available for the deaf and or the hard of hearing. If you, any This will be done tomorrow. Next slide, please. Lastly, follow HNI Inclusion Philippines on our social media pages and its digital platforms as well. It will be appreciated for you guys to do this as early as now. Follow us on Facebook, HNI Inclusion PH, InkluRadyo, InkluSports, InkluNihan, and the online shop. Instagram, HNI Inclusion PH, Kumu, HNI Philippines, and subscribe to Hans Inclusion Philippines YouTube channel and also to follow us on Twitter, HNI Pilipinas. You guys, for those who did this, thank you very much as well. Next slide, please. Now is the time for our shout outs and greetings from Sir Mark to Tropang PWD, to the Palmera Boys, Annalyn Lopez, Sayuri Garcia, and Jason Delegencia, uh, and also to Sir Mark Betita and to Lady Jane Flores. Good evening to you and thank you for watching. Also to those who are celebrating their birthdays today, happy birthday to Nicey Ignacio of Best Buddies Philippines. And for me, shout outs and greetings to my family, to Hands in Inclusion Philippines, Best Buddies Philippines, Best Buddies Benilde, and other PWD organizations, to my high school and college friends as well. And to those who are watching, it may be good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. I hope you guys are in a good mood. But if not, you may use this time to improve on your mental health and your well-being as well. For those who are watching us on InkluRadyo, thank you very much as well. If you missed this episode, it will be premiered on the next day on the Hands in Inclusion Philippines YouTube channel. Next slide, please. Before we wrap up our show, let us have our quote for the day. Our quote for the day, next slide, please, is from Patrick Lencioni. If you could get all the people in the organization rowing in the same direction, you could dominate any industry in any market against any competition at any time. Okay, Sir Mark, can you disable the share screen, please, and open cam as we are about to wrap up our show for this day. Okay, Sir Mark, open cam, please. Okay, that concludes our editorial episode for Wednesday, March 23, 2022. I am your host, Carlos Miguel Kanahashi, and Sir Mark Paulo Betita as our technicals on behalf of Hands in Inclusion Philippines. And InkluRadyo, we thank you for watching. We'll be back again tomorrow at the same time for the Inclusive Report. Mayawa ang Diyos, makakaraos pa tayo, sama-sama tayong lalaban para sa pangarap, pamilya at bayan hanggang sa ating tatak para sa One Inclusion Nation. Ngayong ikalima ng anibersaryo ng Hands in Inclusion Philippines, makatotohanang inklusyon, angat buhay ang solusyon. Sa HNI posible. Pilipinas, God first. HNI, God first. Thank you very much for watching. Have a blessed evening to all and a goodbye for now. Bye-bye and thank you for watching. See you again tomorrow. Thank you, Sir Mark, for assisting me. See you tomorrow as well.